Good evening. Today is Thursday, February 6th, 2025. Update for Friday the 7th. All right, let's go. Well, no setups again going into tomorrow. It's not a whole lot out there. Really didn't see anything alongside. There's a few shorts in here we'll discuss in just 1 second. KGS coming in a little bit. Energies overall also came in. We'll get to that in 1 second. KGS kind of off to the races, or at least a little bit of a lap open, but then coming back in. Longer term, though, it still looks pretty good. Nice uptrend remaining. And tech, I'll talk a lot more about that one tonight in the chart show. A-Lab is a short that's kind of interesting. This was a long just a few days ago, or about 2 weeks ago. But now it's beginning to set up as a short. HV pretty high on that one. So I prefer to, as a general statement, short somewhat lower HV stocks when looking to short. But that does look like it is in trouble. I find it interesting. I wouldn't rush out and short NVIDIA. It's got a lot of support below. But I find it interesting that NVIDIA is starting to look more like a short than a long, or it's actually been looking like a short for a while. It does have a little overhead supply to overcome. I kind of hate to see, I like to see the old leaders hang in there and some new leaders emerge. That would be obviously an ideal situation. Let me flesh that out a little further by looking at the overall market. First of all, S&P 500 didn't set the world on fire, but a decent day. They're trading off a little bit in after hours. Of course, you don't want to chase your tail too much, but just looking at today's action, you can see we're not too far away from all-time highs, less than 1%, not much more than 0.5% away from all-time highs. So that's certainly a good thing, but obviously kind of wide and loose and all over the place, as I've been saying quite a bit. Kind of follow the bouncing ball. It's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, and now it's up again. Years ago, there's a fellow trader used to call this railroad tracks because it's up and down, up and down, up and down. Let's take a look at the weekly. And a little bit more obvious there. It looks a little bit more like railroad tracks. But weekly's actually looking okay. And again, I'll flesh that out in a little more detail in the weekly charts. But okay day in the NASDAQ. You're not too far away from all-time highs here either. Less than 2% away. But obviously, you still have to get there. And we're back above the 50 for 3 days running. So that's certainly a good thing. A little Landry light today above the 50. But let's not get too excited about one day or the other. As I've been saying ad nauseum, when you're at those high levels, a decent up day looks bullish overall, but a down day looks a little scary. Anyway, Russell 2000 opening gap reversal, kind of back to its old self there, back below the 50 simple moving average. Some areas just off of all-time highs like cybersecurity. Biotech, which had been improving, got whacked a little bit, beginning to stall out a little at that overhead supply, so that's certainly not a good thing. Defense kind of hanging there for the most part, but as I've been saying quite a bit, a lot of areas are right at these prior highs, so very important for them to break out and not look back for a while. Banks have been improving as of late. It's kind of interesting, the MG group, Media General versus the ETF, KBE. The Media General group actually broke out to all-time highs, so I find that interesting that banks are beginning to wake up. Financials, in general, as I've been saying quite a bit, doing okay. In fact, they closed at all-time highs. I prefer to have a bull market with biotech and semiconductors and all these other great areas, exciting areas, as opposed to something like the banks. But we'll take what we can get. Major drugs, none of those areas has been bottoming out a bit, stalling out a little today, but so far still trying to bottom out. So that's obviously a good thing today, notwithstanding. Cloud computing just off of all-time highs. None of those areas that's bumping up against its prior highs. That's sort of a reoccurring theme. No big shocker with the market itself acting like it has overall. Take a look at the semis. Actually ended up a smidge today. Better than the poke in the eye, I suppose. Well, it's up 0.5%, I suppose. It's much better than the poke in the eye. You know me, I sure like to see it get through this overhead supply, so that's got me a little concerned, a remaining concern there. Energy's a bit of a bummer, selling off fairly hard. The underlying commodity got hit a little bit too, so you can see it's back below the 50. So that's obviously a bit of a bummer. I think that's pretty much it for tonight. I will flesh out all these sectors in the market itself, obviously, in a lot more detail later tonight. Any questions, of course, Dave at DaveLandry.com. Everybody have a great night. We'll talk tomorrow. Thank you so much.